Who's there?
Hello, Chris. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Okay. Did you solve? Did you practice?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Which was the last sum that we did?
So we have finished practice one. Set 2.1.
2.1 we had finished, and we did drawing root 2 and
Yes.
root 3 on the number line. Okay. Okay. And before finishing in our last class, I had showed you what is even number, how even number looks like. Can you tell me how even number looks like? Even number is of the it is a multiple of
Multiple of 2.
2.
It's a
Yes.
multiple of.
Yes. It's a multiple of 2. Okay. Now next concept is irrational number. What are irrational number? So what are rational numbers? Can you tell me?
Numbers which can be put in the P upon Q form.
P upon Q form and Q not equal to 0. This
Yes.
form is called as a rational number. Now numbers which cannot be written in this form are irrational. Okay. Numbers which cannot be written in P by Q form is called as irrational. Now, our very first topic is root 2 is an irrational number. Okay. Root 2 is an irrational number, and there is a proof for this. Okay. That proof is called as an indirect proof. Now, when I say root 2 is irrational, what do I mean by that?
It cannot be used in the form of P upon Q.
Yes.
Q equals 0.
Yes,
Q does not equal 0.
Yes, it cannot be written in the form of P by Q. That is why root 2 is an irrational. Now, there is a proof for it. Let's understand the proof. So, and that proof is called as indirect proof. Okay, indirect proof. So, let us assume that, suppose, okay, just assuming, suppose root 2 is rational. Okay, and now by definition of rational, it means that root 2 can be written in the form of P by Q. Now, this is just assumption, okay? We are assuming. So, if root 2 is rational, then root 2 can be expressed in the form of P by Q. Now, one thing to note, if you're writing it in the form of P by Q, this is the reduced form of rational number. Means you cannot reduce it more further. For example, if I say 4 upon 8, this can be reduced further. What will you get after reducing it further? 1 upon 2.
1 upon 2.
Now, this you cannot reduce furthermore. You cannot reduce it. So this will be called as a reduced form. In the same way, P by Q is a reduced form of the rational number, and P and Q have no common factors except 1. Is the statement clear? Okay. Now, I'm saying root 2 is rational. That means root 2 can be written off in the form of P by Q. So root 2 is equal to P upon Q. Is this statement clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, what we'll do is we'll square both the sides. So when you square both the sides, this becomes root 2 square and p by q square. Now what is square of root 2? 2. So that is written here. And p upon q, the whole bracket square, the square is distributed. So it becomes p square upon q square. Clear? Okay. Now we are doing cross multiplication. So this take it as 2 upon 1. So 2 into q square will give you 2q square, and p square into 1 will give you p square. So you have 2q square is equal to p square. Clear? Cross multiplication. Okay. Now, one thing to note, what I had told you about even numbers, it has
There are multiple of 2.
multiple of 12. But now here, if you look carefully, look at this equation carefully, you have p square is equal to 2q square. That means p square is a multiple of 2. So from here, what can you conclude? That p square is even. P square is even. So that's why, therefore, p square is even. Clear up to here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, if p square is even, what can you say about p? For example, 2 square, that is 4. 4 is even. What about 2? 2 is also even. Yes. Now, p square is even. So what will be p? Will it be odd?
No, sir, it will be even.
It will be even. So since p square is even, p is also even. Okay, p is also even. Now, since p is even, now what I had told you of even number, it is a multiple of 2. Multiple of 2. So since p is even, that means p is also a multiple of 2. Means it will be some 2 into t, some multiple of 2. Yes. So p is equal to 2 into t. Now here we are just squaring both the sides. Okay, here we are just squaring. So when you square both the sides, that means p square and 2t square. P square will give you p square, and 2t the whole bracket square will give you 4t square. Is this clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now look at this equation and look at this equation. We have p square is equal to 2q square and p square is equal to 4t square. Correct? Now look at the left hand side, LHS. This is equal LHS. So RHS should also be equal to each other. Yes or no?
It's not equal, sir.
Huh? No.
It's
Since LHS is equal, RHS also should be equal. So you can equate them. You can write it like this. 2q square is equal to 4t square. Do you understand this step? Left hand side is equal. So right hand side should also be equal. So I'm just equating it. 2q square is equal to 4t square.
yes, sir. Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you have 2 here. So what we can do is we can divide both the sides by 2. Okay, dividing both the sides by 2. And after dividing by 2, what do we get? Here 2 and 2 cancel. Here 2 ones are 2, 2 twos are 4. So you will have q square is equal to 2t square. Did you understand this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that is here. Q square is equal to 2t square. Okay. Now we are getting q square is equal to 2t square. If you look at this equation clearly, q square is a multiple of 2. Since a q square is a multiple of 2, we can say that q square is an what number? Even or odd?
Even number.
Even number. Okay, since q square is a multiple of 2, q square will be even number. Now, since q square is even, what about q? Will it be odd?
So, no.
No, q will also be even. Okay, so q square is even and hence q is even. Now look at the two important statements that we have made. Here we said p is even. Here we said q is even. That means both p and q are even numbers. Is this proof clear up to here?
Yes, sir.
Now, before we come to complete the proof, one property I want you to tell me. If you have two even numbers, suppose 4 and 8, two even numbers, then is there anything common in them? Can you see a common factor in them?
Yes, sir. They are both even and they are both multiple of 2.
Yes, both of them are multiple of 2. That means 2 is a common factor. Okay. Now this you can say for any two even numbers. Okay. Any two even numbers, if you take suppose 26 and 28. Again, both are even numbers. Both of them are multiple of 2. So both of them have two common factor. Yes. Now use the same logic for P and Q. What we have said, P and Q both are even. That means both of them are multiple of 2. And both of them will have a common factor, that is 2. Correct? Both of them are even. Both of them are multiple of 2. So both of them will have a common factor, that is 2, P and Q. Okay. So 2 will be a factor of Q. So I'll just write here. Therefore, P and Q will have a common factor. Okay, P and Q will have a common factor. But if you come at the start of the proof, okay, if you come to this statement, what does this statement tell? Can you read it? Read it for me. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself.
P upon Q is a reduced form of rational number. Hence, P and Q have no common factor other than 1.
Yes. Now see, this is a very P and Q have no common factor other than 1. And the reason also we know because it is a reduced form. And you know, in reduced form, you cannot reduce it more further. So P and Q have no common factor except 1. But at this statement here, what are we getting? What are we getting here? We get that they have a common. So there is some problem, right? Some contradiction that is happening. Okay, some problem. There is some problem happening here. So this statement is telling that this statement is wrong. And this statement is telling that this statement is wrong. So whenever one statement says that the other statement is wrong and the other statement says that the previous statement is wrong, such type of situation is called as contradiction. Okay, such type of situation is said as contradiction, when one statement says that the other one is wrong and vice versa. So such situation is called as contradiction. Now since we are getting a contradiction, so this is contradictory, because we have said P upon Q have initially at the start of the sum we said P and Q have no common factor except 1. So it is a contradiction. Whenever you get a contradiction, whatever you have assumed at the beginning, okay, what have we assumed at the beginning? Can you tell me here? What assumption did we do?
We assume that
Root 2 is what?
rational.
Rational.
Is
This
a
was our
rational.
assumption. This we assume. So whenever we get a contradiction, whatever you assumed at the beginning, that assumption will be wrong. So our assumption that root 2 is rational is wrong. Now, if root 2 is not rational, then what is the option left? Root 2 is
Irrational.
irrational. So therefore, root 2 is irrational number. This is called as an indirect proof. Have you understood this? If you go for learning higher
Yes,
mathematics, okay, if you go, keep this point in mind, this statement, what I'm saying, keep it in mind. If you go for learning higher mathematics, this proof will definitely be there and it will be used. Even if you go for degree also, if you go for degree level mathematics, engineering also, this proof you will definitely come across this proof. Okay. Now I want you to go through the proof. Just tell me when to change the slide, okay? I'll change.
So next slide. Done, sir.
Okay. Now, so from here we have proved that root 2 is irrational. In the very similar way, we can also prove that root 3 is irrational, root 5 is irrational, and root 3, root 2, root 5, root 6, root 7, or any number which is inside the root, we can prove that that number is an irrational number. Okay. Now, can I say that root 4 is irrational? Think carefully, okay? Think carefully. What is square root of 4?
2.
2. Can I now say 2 is irrational?
No.
No, 2 is rational. So in the same way, you cannot say that root 4 is also irrational. Okay, root 4 will be rational. Okay, what about root 8?
It's irrational.
This is irrational. Irrational, not irrational. What did you say, rational or irrational?
I said rational, sir.
It is irrational. Why?
So
Because
because I was thinking the square root of 8 is 4 and 4 is a multiple of 2.
no. Square root of 8 is not 4. Square root of 16 is 4. Square root of 16 is 4. So now can you tell me what is this? A rational or irrational?
Irrational.
Irrational, yes. Even if you reduce this, suppose 8 can be written as 4 into 2. Okay, so you can separate the root 4 into root 2. What is root 4? 2. Root 4 is 2. So you get here 2 root 2. Yes?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
2 root 2. Now root 2 itself is irrational. And if you multiply it with any number, it will still be irrational only. Correct? Okay, one more thing. Is this rational or irrational? We know that root 2 is irrational. Yes? Yes or no? Now, you add any number to irrational, it will still be irrational only. So 3 plus root 2 is rational or irrational? Unmute yourself and answer.
Irrational.
Irrational. What about this? Is it rational or irrational?
Still think it's irrational.
Irrational. You said irrational, right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
What about one more thing. Pi is an irrational number. Okay, this is a very important statement. Pi is an irrational number. Okay, that means pi cannot be written in the form of P by Q. Okay, pi is an irrational number. Okay, but now since I'm saying pi is an irrational number, what about this then? Do you know what is 22 upon 7?
Pi.
Pi. But I just now said pi is irrational. That means pi cannot be written in the form of P by Q. But I just now wrote it. So can you tell me what is the confusion here, or what would be the probable answer? Note one thing, that 22 upon 7 is not pi. It is just an approximate value of pi. Okay, it is not exactly pi. It is just an approximate value of pi. If you write this in decimal form, 22 upon 7, if you write in decimal form, you will just get 3.14. In decimal form, you'll just get 3.14. But actually, the actual value of pi is 3.14 dot. It's never ending. It's non-stop. It's never ending. And whenever you get something in the decimal form which is never ending, then that is an irrational number. Yes, that is an irrational number. So this 22 upon 7 is just an approximate value of pi. It is not the exact value of pi. Have you understood up to here?
If it's an irrational number, so we did in practice at 2.1, we did some where numbers which go on and on, decimal numbers which go on and on. we made it rational numbers. So how does that work? If the decimal number are rational.
Yeah, I'll solve that confusion also. If you have noticed one thing, in those sums which we converted, suppose there was 0.6666666. Okay, now here it is a recurring. 0.6 is recurring, it is repeating itself. So when it is repeating itself, it will be rational. Okay, even if suppose there was one sum 0.217. So 217 was recurring. So that means it is 217, 217 and recurring. So whenever you have a recurring non-terminating number, okay, a recurring non-terminating, I'll write it here. A recurring non-terminating. Okay, recurring non-terminating, such type of number will be rational. Okay, when it is recurring and non-terminating. If it is only non-terminating, okay, it is only non-terminating. That means nothing is repeating. At every step you are getting a new number. Okay, like suppose 0.124891071. It is not stop. Nothing is repeating, nothing is recurring. Okay, only it is non-terminating. Then such type of decimal numbers will be called as irrational.
Okay, sir.
And a very best example for this is root of 2.
Pi.
Yes, pi is also there. Root of 2 also, root 3, root 7, root 8, root 9 and so on. If you go to find out actually by division method, if you find out the value of root of 2, you will get 1.4101 something non-stop. Nothing will be recurring. No number will be repeating itself recurring. So that such type of numbers is called as irrational numbers. Did you get the difference?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so there are two types: recurring non-terminating, and then second is only non-terminating. Okay, so recurring non-terminating will be rational, and that's plenty of examples we have seen in the previous example. And if you go back and look again at those examples, if you'll see them, all of them were recurring. Okay, all of them were recurring, and you converted them into fraction, p by q form. So they are all rational. If it is only non-terminating, nothing is recurring, then it will be irrational. Is the difference clear? Now, let's see the decimal form of irrational number. Now here we'll do square root of 2 and 3 by using division method. Do you remember finding square root by division method? Something like this it looks. Do you remember how we do this? No?
Yes, I remember.
Okay. So let us find out square root of 2 by this method. So here we'll put 2. And we have to make, starting from the right hand side, you have to make a pair of 2. Yes, do you remember this? You have to make pair of 2. Now here there is nothing, just single number is there. So what we'll do is we'll put 0, 0. How much ever you want. For simplicity, we'll just put 3 pairs of 0. That means 6 zeros we'll put. And now starting from the right hand side, you just make pair. And here, if one pair is only happening, you keep it as it is. Just leave it with one pair itself. Clear? Okay. Now, Here you have to put a number whose square is 2 or close to 2. Can you tell me any such number whose square is 2?
1.
Yes,
1.
so we'll have to put 1 here, plus 1, 1, and 1. Here we'll have to do the subtraction. Here subtraction. And here you have to add 1 plus 1, 2. 2 minus 1, how much?
1.
1. Then you have to bring this entire pair down. So when you bring this 0, 0 down, and now here the decimal point was after one number, so you put here also the decimal point after one number. Clear? Now, here at this position here, besides this 2, we have to put such number. Okay, we have to put such number here that after multiplying that number with the same number, you should get 100 or a number close to 100. For example, if I put 1 here, I have to multiply that number with 1. And here after multiplying, I get 21. So that number should either be 100 or it should be close to 100. So 1 is too small. So let's put 2. So if you put 2, you multiply it with 2 itself. And what do you get? 44. 44 also is too small. So let's try with 3. If you put 3 and multiply it with 3, you get 69. So 69 is also too small. Can you tell me which number will be better?
5.
5. Okay, let's see. 5 and then you multiply it with 5. 25 into 25. Sorry, 5 into 5 is 25. 5 2s are 10 plus 2, 12. 125. We are getting bigger. It has to be less. So 4. So 24 into 4. 4 4s are 16. 4 2s are 8 plus 1.
98. No, not 96.
96. So which number we have to put?
4.
4. So let's do that. I'll just erase this. So this all, see that you do it on the rough, okay, rough side. So I'll put 4 and multiply it with 4. So this should be added. And here also 4. And 24 into 4 is 96. This has to be subtracted. 24 plus 4 is 28. So here 28. 100 minus 96 is how much?
4.
4. So here we get 4. After that, you bring the next pair down. So 0, 0. Now can you tell me? Now same logic. What logic we used here? Same logic you have to use here. So here you have to put such number that after multiplying it with that same number, you should either get 400 or a number close to 400. Let's try with 2. If I put 2, you have to multiply it with 2 itself. So this will get 4. 2 8s are 16. 1 borrowed here. 2 2s are 4 plus 1, 5. So what are we getting? 564. This, can I take 2? It is greater, now. So can I take 2? So what to take then? If not 2, then
We
which
have
is?
to use decimal numbers here. Or we use 1. 1.
1, yes, 1. Decimal, no, not decimal. 1. 1 is the only option, right? Because if you multiply 281 with 1, you'll get 281. And that is lesser than 400. So we'll take 1. Did you understand? Yes or no? So I'll write here 1 and then plus 1. Here also you'll have to put 1 and here 281. Here you'll have to subtract. So here you'll get 282 and 400 minus 281. How much is it?
190.
1?
119.
119. 119.
Yeah. Yeah, 119.
Now this pair again, we have to take it down. So we'll get 0, 0. So now we see it is just non-stop. It is not stopping itself. Here again, same logic we have to do 2, 8, 2. And we have to put some number here that after multiplying it with that same number, we get 11900 or a number lesser than that. So let's start with, now can you tell me which number should I take?
3.
So if you put 3 and then multiply it with 3, you get 9, 6, 3 8s are 24, 3 2s are 6, plus 2, 8. So we get 8469. So this is too small, right?
Try with 4.
4, yeah. If I do 4, 2, 8, 2, 4 into 4. 4 4s are 16, 4 2s are 8, plus 1, 9, 4 8s are 32, 4 2s are 8, plus 3, 11. So 11296. We'll take this only, because if you multiply it with 5, it will be very big, bigger than 11,000. So we'll take 4. So 4, 4, here also 4, and here 11296. Your addition, your subtraction. So this becomes 2828, and this will give me 11900 minus 11296 is 0, 6 and 604. Now we can do this. We can go on and on and on and on, non-stop. It will be never ending. So we'll stop here itself. So if you see in this example, they have gone more further. So 604, and then again another pair of 0 is brought down. So 0, 0. And then again 2 is multiplied. And this step can go on and on. So if you see, there is no pattern. Nothing is recurring. Nothing is repeating. So as I gave you the definition before, if in the decimal form, it is only non-terminating. Okay, it is only non-terminating. Nothing is recurring. Then it is an irrational number. An irrational number can be written in decimal notation. So the decimal form of root 2 is 1.41421 ... non-stop, non-terminating. Have you understood this? I want you to write this down now. Understand all the steps that you're doing. Okay, while writing, understand the steps and write. Do the calculations also. You will get our plot.
कितले आता फ्री हेतून बी तसो काच पैशांचे वचोंक जाय
What is there in there? I keep my laptop there. You better remove it from there. Huh?
There also you keep.
Two
There
shelves,
also you
two
keep.
shelves are only mine. You remove that from there.
That is
What you have
Shobhu's.
kept there?
Shobhu's it is.
Where I keep the laptop there?
Keep on top of
No,
that.
I don't know. You remove it.
No, I'm not going to.
Answer.
Done, Chris? Okay. I'll just erase this. Okay. Can you do it for root 3 same way? And can you tell me? Okay. Try for root 3. You can go up to 3 digits. Yeah, up to 3 digits and then dot 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 again. Like for example, how we got for root 2, we got 4, 1, 4, and then we put dot dot dot. So that way 3 digits for root 3.
So I got 2.34. 2.234. So 2.234.
How much? 2.2.
2.23.
2.2. Some mistake you have done. I'll show you the solution. See.
ये साइड पे बना दो
Did you get the mistake where you did?
I used 2 to divide.
Yes.
I
but
used 2 there instead of 1.
yeah, but square of 2 is 4, while here we have 3. So we should take a number which is lesser than it. So 1 is the only way. Redo it. Redo it.
So 1.732.
Yes, correct. 1.732 dot 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 dot. Correct? Did you get the same? Okay. Now, one thing to note, after the decimal, in the two divisions that we did, first for root 2 and you did for root 3, number after the decimal points are unending. That means non-terminating. They are not even recurring. They are non-recurring, non-terminating. So even no group of numbers or a single number is repeating in its quotient. Okay, nothing is repeating in the quotient for both for root 2, even for root 3. So decimal expansion of such numbers is non-terminating, non-recurring. The same thing as I told you before, non-terminating, non-recurring. So root, whenever the decimal expansion are non-terminating, non-recurring, we call it to be irrational numbers. So root 2 and root 3 are irrational numbers. Okay. So because for root 2, it is 1.412 dot 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 non-terminating, not recurring. For root 3, it is 1.732 dot 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 non-terminating, not recurring. So these are irrational numbers. So did you understand this definition? Decimal expansion, which is non-terminating, non-recurring, are irrational.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Moreover, this is a important statement to keep in mind. A number whose decimal expansion is non-terminating, non-recurring is irrational. This is a statement which I was keep saying again and again. So this it is. Number whose decimal expansion is non-terminating, non-recurring is irrational. So now you have studied two definitions of irrational. Which is the first one?
The first one whose roots are not the
It is the opposite of rationals. What are rationals?
numbers which can be put in the P and upon Q form.
So how will you say irrationals then?
Numbers which cannot be P upon Q form.
Yeah, that is the first definition. Second is this definition. Can you say this?
Yeah, a number whose decimal expansion is non-terminating, non-recurring, and rational.
Is irrational. So are the two definitions clear? The first definition says if it cannot be written in the form of P by Q. And second definition says whose decimal expansion is non-terminating, non-recurring. So now if anyone asks you what is irrational numbers, so you have two definitions for it. Both the definitions are correct. Okay. We will stop here. We'll stop here and we'll continue now in our next class, which is on Thursday. Okay. Since we have not finished much sums, so I'll not give you homework for exercise. I'll give you on Thursday. Okay. So we'll stop here. Bye. See you on Thursday. Bye.
Bye, sir.